everybody, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Dr. Brianna Whiteside, and I create faith, fashion, finance, and lifestyle content. So if you're here, that must mean that you like one or more of these topics. Before I get started, I want to encourage you to go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel and turn your notifications on, because I don't want you to miss out on any of the content that I'm going to be releasing soon. So in today's video, I'm going to tell you how I budget for the month. Now, I know that there's a lot of information about budgeting, and I just have to say that this is not financial advice. This is just how I budget, and I just want to share my journey with you. Let's talk about the first step. The first thing I do is I pre-budget, and by pre-budget, I mean that I start budgeting for the next month days before we get to that month. So for instance, I'm recording this in July, and I am already budgeting for August. Now, it's easy for me to budget that way because I am on salary. I know how much my checks will be every month, but if it's not that easy for you to budget, I want you to just go ahead and adapt it to whatever your lifestyle allows you to do. But because I'm salary, because I know what my income will be every month generally, I'm able to budget days in advance. I actually start to go ahead and do this because I want to encourage my mind to continue to think about the future. So I started budgeting for August, I want to say the third week of July, and I did that because I'm always trying to be forward thinking. I don't want to think too much about the past unless I'm in therapy doing some deep therapy work, but I want to always set my sights on what is to come, what's in the future. And so by pre-planning or pre-budgeting, I allow my brain to continue to exercise those muscles, okay? The second thing I do is I actually physically write out my budget. Y'all, when I was creating the budget for August recently, I just felt an emotion. All right, there's nothing more painful to me than actually writing out your starting salary or what's coming in and then watching it slowly dwindle as you start listing your expenses. I mean, I also just felt my pain sensors activated. When I saw that money do like the Pac-Man sound, I got really emotional. Like I had to stop budgeting for a second because I felt myself getting emotional. And prior to me taking my finances seriously, I was never that person. I was the swipe it, pay later. I was the retail therapy queen. I didn't care about that. I didn't care about not having the money because I had credit cards, and now I'm like, I don't really want to put this on my credit card, but this is 3 years in the making. This mentality is 3 years in the making. And so it's okay if you're not there yet, but the goal is to get you there, all right? And so I want to encourage you to go ahead and physically write out your finances, and don't become overwhelmed by that process. I know it can be overwhelming when you're thinking about money. I know it can be overwhelming when you're just trying to figure it out. Don't let the process punk you. Okay, don't give up prematurely. Don't give up, too soon. You have the goods, you have what it takes, and you have already done the first hard step, which is recognizing that you do need to budget because you clicked on this video, right? And so be okay. We're gonna get through this. So I write out my budget, and then I also, in my budget, after I write out all of my expenses and watch them dwindle, get smaller, I then go ahead and I allocate my giving. So I am a Christian. I believe in the principle of giving to the poor. I also believe in just giving in general, and so I allocate 10% of my income to giving. I've done this when I was trying to get out of debt. I'm doing this now that I'm trying to increase wealth, and I'm not going to tell you how much to give away of your finances. That is not what this is about. I'm just saying that I do still give even as I'm trying to reach a goal, right? Because what I believe that is a principle of the kingdom. Now, if you don't believe that, then just go ahead and sit this one out. No worries. And so I give to the poor 10% of my income. And so after I, list all the things that I have to take care of in my household, I go back to the starting amount and take 10% out of that and I give it away. Okay. So after I set my giving statement and I, allocate for where those funds will go for the month, I then go ahead and set my monthly investment limits. Now, as I've been trying to build wealth, I've learned that there is a way to allow
allow your money to work for you. This is not something we're necessarily taught in the African American community. Generally, we're taught you need to go ahead and work hard, get a good job, and retire. Well, times have changed, and even your good job ain't gonna save you these days. And so I set my monthly limits. And so I say, okay, Brianna, how much are you going to give to crypto? How much are you going to invest in stocks? How much are you going to invest in your Roth IRA? So I have all of these different accounts that I have to consider. How much am I going to invest? Because it's always a good idea to invest. I think studies have shown that people who are wealthy have made money either by being an entrepreneur, investing in the stock market, or real estate, right? So these three things, and you can do all three if you want to. I'm doing 2 of the 3 right now. I'm not planning to do the third one in the future. And so I set those allocations out, right? So now it's getting a little bit more slimmer, right? I'm like, oh, all right, but you know, this is you planning for the future. This is you growing generational wealth, right? Being a generational curse breaker. So then after that, I set my monthly savings goal, right? And because it is so important for you to have money for a rainy day, okay? Because rain does come. It's been raining in the desert the last few days and I'm shooketh. Anyway, you need money allocated for a rainy day. So one, I have already built up my nest egg or my emergency fund, which is 3 to 6 months of my income. And now I also decide, okay, Brianna, how much are you going to continue to add to that account? And then how much are you going to add to your high yield interest rate account, right? Your savings account with your American Express and your Capital One. In a previous video, which you should check out, I talked about why I opened up another bank account, which was another high yield interest rate account. Is because I want my money to work for me. So as I am saving, right, with the traditional bank, I'm also adding money to my high yield savings accounts and allowing that money to also work for me too. Passive income is free money. Okay, so then after I've done all those things, I've, paid, accounted for the money that I'm gonna owe for my bills. I've accounted for my giving. I've accounted for my savings. I've accounted for my investment. The last thing I do is really account for my food. Now I have a pretty clear food budget. It's really clear. I have a meal delivery service. I know how many meals I order from that meal delivery service every week. And then sometimes I do have to go to the grocery store, but it's never more than $40 that I need to spend a week. And so generally I am giving myself maybe $120, $130 to spend on groceries for the week. Now, if you have a larger family or have other obligations, feel free to remix this. Feel free to remix this. You know what I'm saying? This is just my journey. And it's taken me 3 years to get here. Okay, so I have my food budget, and then I have my fun budget. My fun budget is, the last thing, because yes, I want to have fun. Yes, I want to enjoy my money, but there's a lot of more pressing things that I need to consider and take care of prior to me enjoying the money. And so if I feel that I want to have more fun, that means I have to create more money, bring in more money, right? And so I know my job, because I'm on salary, they're not going to give it to me. So I'm going to have to create the wealth. I'm going to have to use my gifts because I want to have more fun, right? And so that's a whole nother video. So that is just really the way that I budget for the month. I strongly suggest that you physically write it out, and then even after that, you can put it in a spreadsheet, an Excel sheet, totally fine. No one will fault you for that, but I want you to physically engage with your budget, and I want you to see how you're spending and the things that you're responsible for I want you to take those things into account as you're trying to create wealth or even get out of debt. I hope that helped you. I have 2 resources that I want to share with you. If you're looking to get out of debt, I have 2 ebooks. One is entitled How I Climbed Out of Consumer Debt in 8 Months and How You Can Too. And the second one is entitled How I Saved $20,000 in 1 Year and How You Can Too. Both ebooks are available on my website, www.briannawhiteside.com. So I want you to go ahead and take take advantage of these ebooks. I share the wisdom that helped me do what I'm doing right now, and so I want to share them with you. As always, if you know someone who needs this, be a good friend and share the video with them. Also, make sure you have subscribed and turn your notifications on so you don't miss anything. I hope this video encouraged you and shed a little bit of insight on finance. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.